Welcome to Trading Lounge and the European FX pairs, and starting with the US dollar index here. As you know, we'd been looking for, from wave 1, we're looking for wave 2, we were looking for an A wave, a B wave and a C wave down into the 61.8% area. However, the ECB have made their comments and have spiked markets, but we'll just allow the dust to settle and pick up the thread. Secondly, Germany's got some CPI and inflation figures coming out tonight, 1800 hours, and more so important is China's got some data coming out too, some CPI figures coming out from China an hour after the German figures, and the China figures are probably a bit more important and will certainly drive the market as such, so be mindful of that. Now, with these spikes here, I feel that all the counts we've had with the in this section still on track and all correct. It's just that the comments from the ECB have spiked things a little bit further in each direction as such, but it's all the same. So from wave B here, we're looking for 5 waves down here for wave C. And I know that we're very close to the end here. I won't go in here on a 2-minute chart. We can do that on the euro and have a bit of a look. But this should be completing now, and we should see a move up in the next sessions with this. So that said, on the euro side here, that's the 2-minute chart. I'm going to come back to that. So we'll just go back to our, oops, not even an hour. Sorry about that. I've clicked the wrong button. Okay, here we go. So yeah, look, a little bit of a nightmare, but as you know, with the euro here, we were looking for an A wave, a B wave pulling back 56, and then the C wave moving up here. Well, it's not very correlated very well, but in the general direction, so to speak. But yeah, you know, as with all trends, we'll just go to the 2-minute chart now, because this is the A, the B, and the C is where we're sort of, so it should sort of fold back from where it is here on the 2-minute chart, and just sort of tracking that up a little bit. As you've seen before, with all trends, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and with this one here, we can see that the beginning here, the middle is, I would consider that there the middle where the strongest bar is. The strongest and longest bar in the center of that, to me, is the center of the trend. And we'd look at this as wave 1 and 2 here, and then 1 and 2 and 3, an A and a B and a C for 4, and then up here for 5 somewhere. So this is like the top of the 3rd wave here. It may even be here, but it doesn't really matter. The 5th wave is up here. This is, you can see that this is ending here, can't you? I mean, it's basically ready to fall out of bed here, so that would probably make a nice short. But as I mentioned, the CPI figures and the inflation figures for Germany coming out tonight, so they're going to be driving this market. But we are looking for a top, and here is a good enough place as any. So pull out your tools and swords and investigate this one a little bit further. Alrighty, so the next chart is the US yen here. And as I mentioned the other day, is that while this is traveling sideways through here, we're not that interested in it. We were looking for a B wave back into the 50-60% retracement level. We got that. So then we're looking for a move up into this area here. We've got that. Then we're looking for a move down. So this move down here would be in 5 waves down. So we're looking for a 3-wave counter trend, and then we can look to short over here. But I need to gather the evidence. I need to make clear that that's 5 waves and that's 3 waves. So we've still got time in this, and this is what I mentioned before. We'll just chill out and we'll just wait for this to mature. And when it's ready to move, well, we'll get on that bus, but not yet. The pound yen. Everything's going according to plan here as well. As you know, we were looking at this as 5 waves to the upside. So we've got a beautiful 1, 2, 3, ABC for 4, and up for 5 here. So I'm thinking this is the top here. And then we'll be looking for an A and a B and a C wave back into this sort of area here. And this is where we're going to trade from. This is the long trade that we need. This 5-wave structure here is what we should be seeing over here next, okay? And this is where the setup will come from. Now, if I'm wrong, I mean, because the extension's in wave 3 here, I just logically think that wave 1 and wave 5 will be roughly the same, you know, without getting into, you know, too much about all of that. But the only error that I could make here is that this can be wave 5 and we could put this top in play here. The only error that I could make is that we get a larger 5 waves in this 5th wave here. So this all is just wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. So in fact, wave 5 could go up here as well. I don't think that's the case, but it could be, okay? So if it is, then the way that you would handle that is on the 61.8%, well, price point here, ratio 162 here, the extension. So if that becomes a support, a tested support, then you have to go along from there. Otherwise, chill and we'll catch it down here and we'll trade up from that point there. The next one is the cable. Let's just go to a 2-hour chart first for this, pick up this thread here. So everything's pretty much on track here as well, because what we were looking for here is all this being the A wave here, and A and a B and a C for the B wave, and now we're looking for the C wave to move up. So we're basically looking for 5 waves up here. Of course, this wave C could be the top on this one here and fade from that point there. Okay, I don't think it's the case, and if we look at the 2-minute chart again, or maybe even a 5-minute, just to sort of focus on what's happening in this little area here. It's a bit slow to sort of pick up. I think I've got a 32-bit Java operating on a 64-bit platform, so I need to perhaps download the new Firefox, which is called WaterFox 64-bit browser, and get that working. Doesn't want to go, does it? It's struggling. I'm uploading videos at the same time and got a lot of other stuff happening as well, but I think it is that Java 32-bit browser that's giving me a bit of a nightmare. Anyway, just got to wait for that to pan out a bit. Here we go. Okay, so let me just, well, what we could see here is we can see that this is all of wave 1 here in this case, and wave 2 to here. Yep. Then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 to here for the 4. Oh no. Yeah, maybe. Oh, it's a bit tricky, that one. Well, let's just work with that then. If the other one's at the top, we're not going to be far off. Let me just double check this again. How annoying. That's fine. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. A, B, C. I'm just wondering if this is the A, the B, and the C wave here. That certainly looks like it, and 5 here. It still gives us a top. It still gives us a top here. That's the main thing. So if that's the top, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, will have to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to here, 4th. Still, we should see a move lower before we see that move higher there. What's that? 143. Let's. I mean, what I'm thinking here is that yes, it's possible for this market to move down to this 50 and 60% retracement level down here before we see a move up here. So that's highly probable. But at the same time, because we've got the impulse wave here, any breach above here, we need to go with that. And we also need to go with it too, because the 143 here, the number 3 on the end here makes this level the top of group 1. Wherever we see 3, it's the group 1. So a tested support on top of group 1 would set the target at the next ratio 5 here. The 144 is also important in terms of geometry as well. It's basically where Fibonacci and Gann meet on that number, the only number I think. But besides that, then all their ratios and numbers are so close it doesn't really matter. They just look different, but they're much the same. Yeah, looking for a long trade, but here we're looking for a retracement back into this little area here. So I'll just clear that up. So that 143 is a catalyst. That's all we really know. But if you can pick up the ABC back into this sort of area here, then you can trade up from that point. Okay, that's the cable. The euro yen. Everything's on track here as well, in that we were looking for an ABC back here, then up for 1, back for 2, up for 3, back for 4, and up for 5 here. So we're pretty much on track here as well. So if you're long here for whatever reasons, then the 128 is where you're looking for as your target. And also too, that 8 is a profit-taking number, so that will come into play. Other important numbers in this area here, of course, are in the halfway mark between 8 and 5 is 126.50. So that I call it a 65 number. Some of you know that already, but there it is, 126.50. That's the guy there that's going to create the correction. That's going to be the balance line for this correction. And if you're looking above that, well, the 127 is important, but the 127.20 is also important here as well. It's a 272 number, and that will come into play there. So 126.50, 127.20, and then this number here is important. And of course, 127.72 is really important as well here, because we've got 772 rather than just 72. It's all that 2 and 7 number. It's all part of the 9 series, which anyway, long story, but there we go. 5 waves, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 5. We could just have a quick look at this on the 15-minute chart and see what sort of reaction we're going to get here. I mean, because it's pretty sort of certain that that this structure is sort of in play. So I haven't cleaned this up here, but let's clean that up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is, we should see, let me just clean up my mess here. It's just, that trend line would have been handy to stay there, but you can put that back in there and that will become useful. And what I can offer here is very simple, 126 there. So I just want to put this number back in, this level back in here, which is 126.50. That's where the correction's going to dance to, and this this market can move back to 125.55 before you see it go up to 128. So that would be the play across there as such. But put the other trend line back in, because that will be, I think, I don't know where it was in here, but wherever it was there, find it, put it back in, and that will become useful in there as support and resistance. But looking for a larger correction of the 126.50 area. If there is another little high here, then it will still fall back. Okay, so yeah, just watch on that. And if it's going to play out, if it's done its business at 126.50, well, then the 127 and the 127.20 is where you'd be looking there. But still, a nice long trade as such, because we've got a nice that can go up. Oops, that can go up there. Sorry about that. That can go down there, and that should be wave 2, of course. Yeah, so it's quite nice looking, really, this one. So we can be pretty much assured of that wave 4 panning out, and then wave 5. And wave 5 will be a little bit like it'll be a little bit like wave 1 here. In fact, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's actually over here. That's actually here. So we've got a nice strong third wave, the fourth wave and the fifth wave. So I think that will be, once that fourth wave matures here, I think that will be quite a nice trade, actually. You know, I mean, not a fantastic profit trade, but an easier trade, you know. So anyway, that's it. Enjoy the weekend. Cheers.